This tutorial is going to go into more depth about drawing ductwork using the in and out options. It is a very important concept because of PractiCAD's ability to edit and use automatics that actually get applied to an entire duct line forward or duct line backwards. Therefore, maintaining duct line integrity is a very important thing to do if you'd like to use your automatics and your editing options to the fullest. In this tutorial, we've represented the proper setup and the proper way to draw a duct using the in-out connections. We have over here a grill. In this tutorial, it's going to represent the airflow flowing out. And then we've got the air handling unit. In this tutorial, the duct line is actually flowing from left to right along the drawing. However, airflow direction actually has nothing to do with your in-out connections. In-out connections only have to do with your connectivity between entities. Therefore, it's always important to make sure that when you are attaching duct, you are attaching it correctly. Though you can attach duct in PractiCAD in any way that you want, maintaining the proper duct line integrity will become important when you go to edit your duct systems later. Here we have a damper that is sitting in the middle of a wall. Currently, we are going to find out which side is on the in and which side is on the out, and we're talking about connections. This is easy to do. All you need to do is click on any duct in PractiCAD and look for the square blue node. If you look where the square blue node is and then go to your fitting box, whatever is listed here is the connection point. For example, the fitting box here says in. Therefore, this is the in joint of this fire damper. If I were to switch this to the out, you will notice that the node moves to the outside. Therefore, the out joint is here and the in joint is here. Once again, if I switch it back to the in, you'll see that the blue node will change. If I am to run duct on both sides of this fire damper, the proper way to do this is to make sure that I hold the in joint when attaching to the out and hold the out joint when attaching to the in. So what we're going to do is we're first going to hold duct by the in, and we're going to grab a fitting. Notice that we're going to bring this fitting over to the fire damper, and I'm holding it by the in joint, and I'm going to bring it right over to the node of the out joint. PractiCAD will resize and snap the duct. I can now snap another piece, and I can continue all the way out to my grill. Now, if I would like to start routing duct backwards, the proper way to do this would be to hold my duct by the out joint. And then I want to bring the out joint and connect it to the in joint of this fire damper. You will notice that when I hit C, enter for continue, the duct is actually routing backwards into this joint. So I'm going to route duct directly to this particular fitting. Now, we have done this properly. The improper way of doing this would be as follows. I would not want to hold the duct by the in joint and then bring my fitting over to the fire damper, click and rotate it in this direction. You can see that it's actually not snapped because I'm attaching the in to the in. It's not really connected. And then I start routing in this direction. If I do this, I've actually taken fittings and I've routed them incorrectly. This is going to break our duct line integrity. So if I want to route duct from the in joint of this damper to the out joint of this radius elbow, once again, I'd like to grab rectangular duct, hold it by the out, snap to my first point, and now we're just going to route it and snap to my second point. You will know if duct line integrity has been kept when you go to edit your ductwork. For example, we're going to zoom in on this section of the drawing right here, and then we're going to make a change. We're going to click on the radius elbow, and then we're going to change the property depth out. If duct line integrity is maintained and all the duct is connected with the proper in-out connections, This should edit the entire duct line forward. Notice when I go to depth out and type in 42 and hit enter that it does all change at once because the edit is carried through the duct line all the way to the end. That is a good indication that our duct line integrity has been maintained. What would have happened if we did it incorrectly? Well, we're going to basically undo what we've done. We're going to erase this section, and now we're going to draw, but this time we're going to hold the in connection, attach it to the in connection, and route it improperly. I'm going to grab the ductwork. I'm going to click here and then rotate the ductwork in this direction. Then I'm going to route it all the way to this fitting here. Once this duct line is connected improperly, we're now going to try to make the same edit. Notice I am now going to click on the radius elbow. Then I'm going to change the properties to depth out 42. When I type in 42, it actually only changes this fitting here because we have not attached this correctly. As a matter of fact, there is an option in the software called duct line checking, which allows us to highlight our duct line and then run automatics, which will actually flag the points that duct is not connected. Notice that right here and right here, Practicat has stated that duct isn't connected, and that's because we did not connect it correctly. The proper way to do this, once again, will always be, we're going to undo what we've done to make sure when we grab our rectangular ductwork, if we're going to route from the in connection, we hold by the out connection. Now, if I hold by the out and just route the duct to the end of my radius elbow, you will see if we run our duct line editing or duct line check that no red marks have appeared because this is connected correctly. Please go through the exercises on duct line integrity. That concludes this tutorial of the advanced options for in-out.